Masachet Baba Batra Daf Lamed Dalet, continuing Mahmoud Bet in the Tava. Who Arba? There was a boat and river. The Havumin said La Betre, two people were fighting over. Haida Mardihu, Vahaya Mardihu. Each guy was saying the boat belonged to them. Atahad Minal Bedina, one of them came to Bedin, Vamani told Bedin, Tivsuha, Adamaitina Sa'ad Didihi. He asked Bedin to take over the boat, to seize it, like put it into escrow, until I could bring witnesses that it's mine. So the Gemara says, Tafsina and Lotasin, does the bet even get involved to grab it or not? Ravuna Amar Tafsina and says we do grab it, or Yehuda Amar Lotasin and Rabbi says we don't grab it. Azal, meanwhile, the guy went to get the witnesses, Velo Ashkar something, but he couldn't find witnesses to say that it was his. Amar Lo therefore told the Bedin, Afkuha, the Chodon Gvar. He said, okay, Bedin, they'll go over the boat, and whoever gets the boat gets it, whether it's legitimately through court or witnesses, or even physically, as they say, it's up for grabs. Gemara says, "Mafkin or mafkin? Do we take it out of escrow, betin, or not? If you do mafkin or mafkin, mahoget. We don't grab it. Yeah, we don't put it into escrow. But if betin did grab it and put it into escrow, we don't release it. Next case, each person said this certain item property belongs to both of their families. Nachman says, instead of dealing with it, you release the Beti, you release the field, let them handle it, Kodum Gvar, let the stronger one win it, up for grabs. Okay, why over here do we say it's up for grabs? Regarding two documents that say that each person got this property, right? So two documents that say that, let's say one Reuven got this property, and the same document, the other document says that Shimon got the same property on the same date. So it can't be that one's predated and therefore favors the other. The reason why it's such a big deal is because even if, let's say, Reuven brings witnesses on his document, doesn't make a difference because Shimon has the same date. And therefore, if Shimon has the same date on the document, then they both have the same rights to it. We're really stuck. And it cannot be proven in court unless you're somehow proving that the other guy's document is fake, which is not going to happen. So when it says, over the Rav said that you split the document, the property. But Shmuel says, should the Daini, the judges of Bedin has to decide what they want to do with it, up to their discretion, whether they want to split it, or if they suspect something, they can hand it to one person. So how come Rav Nachman holds that in the case of where the person saying that it belongs to my family, how come over there they say, up for grabs, good luck. And over here we're saying either the judge decides or they say we split it. Mar says it's different. Hatam, regarding the two document case, we don't know whose it is, and there's no way to substantiate and decide whose it is. Because, like I said, even if you bring witnesses, it's still up for grabs. We still have two documents that are looking legitimate. Regarding the case of this document, eventually you could bring evidence that it belonged to my family or his family. And therefore, in that case, we'd rather not force a settlement because it may come out later that it wasn't, versus in the case of the two documents, much harder to get the decisive answer, and therefore we'd rather have a split. The Gemara says, someone's selling a cow for someone's trading a cow for a donkey, and then it gives birth to a calf, or someone's selling a maidservant and it gives birth to a child, right? And the slave belongs to the owner. The seller says she gave birth before I sold her, therefore the child belongs to me. And the buyer says, no, I bought her and then it was gave birth, and therefore the child is mine. The halacha is that we split it, even in a case where you can't, let's say, and even in a case where we can't prove who belonged to, we still split. How come we don't say that whoever grabs the animal grabs it? How come we split it in that case? Tomorrow says, Hatam lahai. In that case, regarding the animal or the servant baby, each person has potential rights to it. Meaning the seller says, I think it's mine because I think it gave birth before. And the buyer says, I think it's mine because it gave birth afterward. And therefore, they each have a claim to the money, a clear path to the money. In the case of the property, where each person says it belongs to their family, eat the more, lo the more, eat the mar, lo the mar. Problem is, if each guy is saying it belongs to my family the past 100 years, one of them is lying. And because each one, it may not belong to the other, in that case, Betin says, we're not getting involved, good luck, and we don't start splitting it, because technically it could belong to one of them. However, in the case, like we said, in the animal with the giving birth, or the maidservant giving birth, each one does have a way to say that it was theirs. It's logical to think, and it's not illogical to think that it can't be each one of them, and therefore in that case we split it. Did I say? If someone comes from the street, and let's say we have this case of, let's say, Reuven and Shimon saying it each belongs to the family. Also, Levi shows up out of nowhere, and does hazakah. He takes takes possession of his property. In mutzi'inotah miyado. You cannot throw out Levi, even though Reuven and Shimon are fighting on it, because Reuven and Shimon, we don't know who it belongs to, and therefore this land is still in neutral. And therefore, if Levi comes and grabs it, it belongs to him. The Tana Rabbi Yahya says that Gazlan shel Rabim lav shmei Gazlan. Someone who steals from a public, which means someone who steals from something we're not sure who it belongs to, is not considered a robber, and you can't force him to return it. Rav says, no, you can. Lo lam shmei Gazlan. Really, he is considered a robber, and he throw out Levi, no problem. So what does it mean? What does it mean? He's not considered a robber. That the Mishnah said. The Batra says, if you have to return it, but he's not considered a robber, so what does that mean? Where it says, Shalom tan lehishavon. He's not fulfilling the mitzvah or the obligation of a robber returning it to the owner because we don't know who it belongs to. So yes, he stole it. He has to vacate it 100%, but he can't fix his stealing like a regular robber could and do teshuvah by returning it to the party because we don't know who it belongs to, and therefore he can never fix that sin. That's what it means he's not considered a robber, is that he's unable to return it. But Rav Ashi would say that you can evacuate him from the field because he has no business, because we're fighting out Reuven and Shimon, but obviously it does not belong to Levi, therefore we throw out Levi. Amen.